Hello, welcome to Rosalind's Kitchen again. Today we are going to be making the chicken meal, the second meal of our this week's food. We have chicken Paillard with broccoli and lemony garlic tomato sauce. So there you go. And it's easy, not spicy, and should be pretty good. So, yay! All right, so what I need to bring to this is a pan, cookie pan with tin foil that's been sprayed with Pam. Pan with Pam. A medium frying pan. Now, those are the only two things besides the salt, pepper, and olive oil that, I normally have to have. But this one's going to require some extra things, like a juicer, a zester, and, of course, my wonderful little mincing shears. Edward Scissorhands, eat your heart out. Okay, now, what they provide are cherry tomatoes, garlic, broccoli. Yes, we're not having green beans. We're having broccoli. Yay. Parsley, cheese, grated Parmesan, a shallot. Yes, see? Isn't that cute? An onion. This is what I'm going to be zesting and juicing. And, of course, the chicken. So, my first task is to cut the broccoli. Well, my first task is to clean all my things and then chop up my broccoli. So, here we go. All right, so it says to cut the broccoli into bite-sized pieces. So, depending on how big your mouth is, will depend on how big this broccoli gets cut. And of course, cut off any stuff that looks weird, because we don't want weird broccoli staring at us during a meal. I would like at this moment to also give a shout out to my friend Lynn Eleanor Shaw, who just did her first cooking vlog. I watched it. It is very cool. I recommend you to go check out Eleanor Shaw. S-H-A-H. Check it out. It's cool. For all of those of you who enjoy watching cooking. She makes kind of Indian food. So, different from the way I do it. And she is blessed with having a wonderful daughter who films it for her, so she's not fighting with her camera as much as I fight with mine. So this is a good thing too. When I was little and I would eat broccoli, I would always pretend that the broccoli were little trees and I was a giant coming through and eating the trees. I'm not quite sure why I was a vegetarian giant, but there you are. So I would pretend that they were my little trees and I would pick them up and eat them. And then my mother would say, stop handling your food. Because good girls don't eat their food with their fingers, at least, unless, like it's a pizza or something like that. Although I think my mother probably would have objected to would have preferred I ate pizza with a knife and a fork, because she was very much about what was proper. But she was also understanding that I was not the most proper person in the universe. I think I have them all cut down. So, put them all in my little basket here again. Now, they are going to be going in a bag with some oil and my shallot in a minute. Okay, so, all right, so now I peel and half my shallot, and then I'm going to cut it in very thin slices. This promises to be an exciting thing because not always cutting onions can be a real talent, you know, and not one that I sometimes always have, because, you know, you're trying to cut an onion and the onion is trying to fall apart, you know. Shallots are, of course, kind of like tiny little onions. Yay! So, all right, so I am going to give it a shot with my mandolin. And because I do learn, I'm going to put on my glove so that we can avoid fingers being cut. Oh, that's right. You were supposed to be cut in half. Okay, so cut you in half. And then my shallot's smushing. See? This is why cutting shallots or onions of any variety are kind of difficult. All right, let's see if you do better, huh? Okay. I do love my new mandolin. There we go. And thinly sliced shallot. Couldn't have done better. Definitely couldn't have been done better by hand. So I am very excited. I must now put it in a bowl, because you can't have shallots running around all over the place. Or maybe I'll just go ahead and put it in the bag right now. Let's see. All right, so shallots. If any of you ever want a really good cutting board, these flexible ones are awesome. They get scratched up, but when it comes to putting stuff in, it's great for, like, you know, bending and sticking it all in. Now, to put the broccoli in the bag. Ah! Don't escape! Flying broccoli. This is why I don't do it in the pan, because, you know, I can't even put them in a bag without, you know, like, getting them everywhere. There you go. All right, so now they are all in the bag, and I am to put olive oil, and half a teaspoon of salt. You my half? Nope, you're my fourth. You my half? Yeah, there you are. All right, half a teaspoon of salt. Wait, no, not a half a teaspoon of salt. A fourth of a teaspoon of salt. I was right the first time. All right, so and a fourth of a teaspoon of pepper. Ah, there it is. You know, I think I'm going to need more pepper. I'm starting to run out. Okay. And massage oil into broccoli. All right. I'm giving my broccoli a massage. Without getting my fingers all over it. Which works for me, you know? And then, I hope it's been massaged in. Maybe I need to add a little bit more oil. La, 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 la. I kind of go by the belief that you can never have too much olive oil. My broccoli, I think, has been massaged. And now I pour it onto my cookie sheet. And a single layer. Throw the bag away. And I will cook this about 14 to 16 minutes, probably the 16, just because I want them to be nice and soft. But before I do that, I'm going to finish getting my things done. All right, now I have my garlic. I think I'm going to have to put my glove back on, because I'm going to try and slice my garlic with my mandolin too. Yay! And that was great rejoicing. All right. And my mandolin, being the thing it is, came apart while I rinsed it off, so there we go. Wipe it off. Put on my glove to keep me from losing any flesh. And I forgot to cut off the little end, so I'm going to have to fish that out. But there we go. Beautifully sliced garlic. I love it. I truly love it. Okay. All right, now it says to half my tomatoes. And looking at the picture, because sometimes that's the only way you can know whether you're to half them this way or half them lengthwise. And the picture seems to indicate they are halved lengthwise, so halving them away. The haves and have-nots. I'm not quite sure how that applies to a tomato, except that they are now in half. And so they have not a whole shape anymore. Don't judge. You know I'm weird, so, you know, just go along with it, okay? All right, so we are having the tomatoes here. If you hear any rumbling in the background, it's because we have a thunderstorm going on right now. So, and there we go, halved tomatoes. All right, and now I must zest the lemon. Where's my lemon? All right, so zesting a lemon is a little bit like you're using a grater. In fact, it's just like a grater. And this is from Pantry Chef. And I've used it before. The bowl is actually just to catch any that fall off while I'm zesting. It's a long process. I don't like zesting things because you have to work at it a lot. And you have to work a long time to get any zest off of a lemon. So I will get back to you. All right, so there is the zest of my lemon. Not a whole lot for a lemon, but it will be enough for my thing. And then I'm going to have to like thoroughly clean my little thing here because it is all coated. So now that it has been zested, now I cut the lemon in half and I juice it. Now I like my little juicer because it comes with its own little thing for holding the juice after I'm done, as well as it has a strainer at the top to catch the seeds so I don't end up having to fish seeds out of my juice. Squished. And this lemon is kind of fighting me a little bit. All right, and as you can see, there are seeds in there that are not in my lemon juice. Now, technically, I suppose I could have used like store-bought lemon juice, but Home Chef kind of goes with the fresh and all of that. All right, now my next thing is going to be to mince the parsley. So here's my parsley, here is my bowl, and here are my scissors. It says mince it all, so I don't have to stem it, I just have to start mincing. Yay! There's nothing quite like mincing a herb and watching it fall into the thing all in nice little, you know, thing, you know, all nice and neat. See? Isn't that cute? I love my mincer. So, but I won't make you watch me mince. I'll get back to you. Alright, so everything is prepared now. I haven't patted dry my chicken yet, but I will. So I got my parsley. I got my lemon zest. I got my garlic. I got my tomatoes. I got my lemon juice, and fortunately I didn't have to grate up the cheese. So now we will move over to the stove where I will put the broccoli in and we will start cooking. Alright, my oven is at 400. My broccoli and shallots are ready. I stick them in, and I stick them in for the 14 to 16 minutes. So let me set my timer here. And while they're doing that, I'm going to prepare the chicken. Now, you know how I normally beat the heck out of my steaks? Guess what? I get to beat the heck out of my chicken. So, here we go. Alright, so it says to pat the chicken dry, put it on a clean surface, cover it with plastic, and beat on it until it is a uniform 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to use the flat side because I don't really want to dig it up. I just want to smush it. So here we go. That side's not enough. Looks pretty flat to me. How about you? Alright, so now that it is flat, I'm going to season it with 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt and 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper. Salt it first. Salt, 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 salt. Salt, 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 salt. Salt, 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 salt. And then pepper. Pepper, 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 pepper. Whoa! The thing is that sometimes my hands get tremors in them, and then they don't cooperate. As in, they really don't cooperate. Okay, so I'm going to turn them over. Come off there, chicken. Alright, now 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt again. Salt, 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 salt. And pepper. Let's try not to over pepper it this time. Alright, so now it has been salted and it has been peppered. Got my pepper thing here again. And now it says to put my medium non-stick pan over medium-high heat and add olive oil and then add the chicken to the hot pan. So, move my chicken, move my thing back out here where it can view my pan. Now, for some reason, our pilot light doesn't work, so I have to light it via my trusty little lighter. Okay, so pan over heat, olive oil, alright, let it get hot, and then we will be ready to cook the chicken. Alright, so my pan is hot, and it says to put my chicken in. Now they said a medium pan, and this is medium, but it seems a little bit on the small side to me, but hey, what do I know about anything? So now it will cook for 3 minutes. Then I will remove it to a plate. And then I will cook the other stuff. All the wonderful things. So, here we go. Alright, now it says flip the chicken and then immediately move it to a plate. Not quite sure why I bothered to flip it, but hey. Alright, so I have flipped it, removed it, added a little bit more olive oil, add the garlic. Now, I am to cook the garlic for about 5 30 seconds until fragrant. Now, since I have no sense of smell, I just kind of have to assume that after just less than a minute, it's going to end up being fragrant. Oh, I've also lowered the heat to medium. All right. I think that's been 30 seconds. All right, now I add my tomatoes. Hello there. A tablespoon of lemon juice. 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. And then switch you around a little bit. And then, believe it or not, I put my chicken back in. Like I said, I'm not quite sure about this, the logic of this here thing, but get back in there. Definitely should have had a bigger frying pan. When they say medium for future knowledge, know that they mean more than just medium. All right, guys. Now you cook. Oh, and the accumulated, the rested juice. Oh, there we go. And I cook for 2 to 3 minutes, and then I will put them on a plate, sprinkle them with parsley, lemon zest, and Parmesan. And then we will serve them, placing the tomato sauce on the chicken. So, here we go. Now I removed it from the heat, and I sprinkle it with parsley. And then I sprinkle it with zest. And then I sprinkle it with Parmesan. I now return to my prep area to plate my food. Put the broccoli there, and some there. I do hope I didn't overcook my broccoli, because it said make it brown, but it's looking a little browner than I expected. Then put the chicken on it. Around so. And then on top of the chicken, I put the tomatoes. The tomatoes should not be too done, you know, because, well, they didn't cook for very long. And now, this is what it was supposed to look like. This is what it does look like. So hopefully, since it looks pretty much like the picture, it's going to be good. So let us find out. Okay, so my dad liked the tomatoes. Didn't really like the stuff that was added to it. It messed with the flavor. Thought there was a little bit more spice, probably because I had a hiccup with the pepper. I don't know. And he's not a big broccoli lover. But overall, the final grade is very good. So, see you tomorrow for the third meal.